It's been way too long. The smartest Rick and Mortiest Morty in the universe are back. And things are pretty much the same.
Over the years, the show's become more and more cinematic. You look at that first season, you got very locked down cameras, very simple, mostly people just talking to each other.
Get out! Ow, you're tugging me too hard!
This year, we've now tripled our volume.
We pushed over 900 assets for this one episode, which in animation terms is not something that is normally done.
Crowd scenes are just impossible to animate.
A lot of people worked really hard to achieve that.
Sometimes the pain is worth the effort.
This season, we're doing lots of crazy camera moves. There's this shot, coming up in one of the episodes. It's this huge, Game of Thrones, big armies and stuff all marching toward, I'm not going to give too much away, but when I read the script, I was a little worried.
The end result always comes through and always looks amazing.
Rick and Morty is a vector-based puppet show. Each of the characters here are broken up into a million little pieces, and that means each individual piece of a character that you're seeing is something that's been drawn, and then as you animate, you're popping from symbol to symbol. To animate quadrupeds, something with 4 limbs.
You have to be constantly kind of accounting for every aspect of an animal's movement, and that was a particular challenge. There's a dragon and there's a cat.
That puppet, that dragon puppet, has to be good. Like the neck has to be able to express things, go in and out in 3D depth. You need it to have weight. You don't want it entering a scene with casual animation. It can get tricky. And those are all decisions that need to be made quickly because of the pace of production. It wouldn't be the show if we weren't, working straight up to the deadline. Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Rick and Morty Season 4 trailer video for Episode 6, a couple of the episodes from the rest of the season, and a breakdown of all the episode titles and Easter eggs. I'll be doing weekly videos for the episodes just like I normally would, so if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. Because the season's back, we'll do Rick and Morty merch giveaways week to week. All you have to do to enter that is just be a subscriber and leave your favorite moment from the first half of the season on the video. So we'll start with all the episode titles and Easter eggs, then I'll talk about the other footage, because they also dropped a trailer just to explain why it takes so long to make Rick and Morty episodes. There was even a special Adult Swim podcast that they did earlier last year where they kind of talk about the same thing, why it takes so long to animate Rick and Morty compared to other animated series. Some of you probably recognize some of the Easter eggs in the titles here. Some of them are a little bit easier to pick out than others. First off, there's a very obvious Terminator reference with the way they do these titles. Rick and Morty trades on a lot of pop culture references from the 80s, so no surprise that they use Terminator as the theme of this big title reveal trailer. But episode 6 is titled Never Ricking Morty. That's going to be this Sunday. That's a reference to the never-ending story. Most of you have probably seen that, or at least seen part of it. It's also a callback to Rick's rant at the end of the first episode and his rant at the end of Season 3, Episode 1, when he started talking about Rick and Morty forever, 100 years, Rick and Morty. The Szechuan rant was a little bit different, but with the 70-episode renewal, if they do 10 episodes per season, that'll take them to 10 seasons of Rick and Morty. There's no official synopsis for Episode 6 yet, but Episode 7 is titled Primordius, which is a reference to Prometheus, Alien, the Xenomorphs. You see them walking around in the trailers with these facehuggers on. The synopsis just reads, "Get off my face, bro," obviously an Alien reference. You may remember a couple years ago, Rick and Morty actually did a trailer video that was a crossover with the Alien franchise.
Maybe we should take off. Doesn't look like anything's going on here.
No, Morty, no. We have to help people.
Oh my god, it's one of those facehuggers from the Alien movie! Holy crap, I think it's dead.
God, Morty, it died of toxicity due to all the drugs and alcohol swirling about in my system.
Wow, Rick, you know, they say don't do drugs, but I think this might be a case for him.
And alcohol, Morty.
Yeah, and alcohol.
Somebody get a memo to all the characters in those alien movies, stat.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but thank God you drink all those drugs and alcohol, you know?
Morty, you don't drink drugs.
Well, whatever, I don't know, I'm innocent.
Some of the footage from the trailer is a little bit easier to pair with some of these episode titles, like the joke about them doing the super long anime suit-up montage, which seems like it's a reference to Ronin Warriors, where they're fighting the race that's been taken over by these facehuggers. Episode 8 is titled The Vat of Acid Episode. The synopsis just reads, "The one with the vat of acid, bro." This is probably a reference to that scene in the trailer where Rick is talking to Morty saying, if anything goes wrong, jump into the same vat of acid that I do. There's also this scene where they're walking around with these vats that look like green portal fluid. That could be the acid episode. They also posted this preview image with them trying to trade some crystals for something else. This deal sounds like it's going down inside this room with all the vats of acid. Episode 9 is titled Childrick of Morty. The synopsis just reads, "Miracle of life, bro. Whole family in this one, bro." The title is a reference to the movie Children of Men. That was a movie where the human race had stopped reproducing in this post-apocalyptic future. Then all of a sudden, a miracle baby is conceived, making the woman the last pregnant woman on the planet. She and the baby become these mythical figures that the government then tries to hunt down and capture. You could also call that theme a callback to Raising Gazorpazorp, where Morty tries to deal with becoming a father and raising a child. There's even a whole battalion of Gazorpazorps over here on the left in this giant army in the trailer. Then Season 4, Episode 10, the finale is titled Star Mort Rick Turn of the Jerry. The synopsis just reads, "Parenting is crazy, bro. Straight up disappearing in this one." Obviously, that's a reference to Star Wars Return of the Jedi. You have a whole bunch of Ricks chasing Morty here, and it looks like Jerry is flying around the tubes inside the Citadel, so that might be their big evil Morty Citadel episode, because Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland said that there's supposed to be some epic Season 5 teaser in a post-credit scene during one of these episodes, and without seeing any more footage, I think it's safe to assume that it's supposed to be the finale. That's usually where you put the tag if it's not going to be a Mr. Poopy Butthole scene again. Most likely some sort of evil Morty scene if it's supposed to push them into Season 5, since he's the biggest ongoing antagonist of the series. If they're supposed to have a big Citadel episode, you also have a lot of Tammy and maybe Phoenix Person stuff happening. There's no Phoenix Person in the Season 4 trailer that we saw, but if Tammy's there, then it means that Phoenix Person is somewhere nearby. And if we're talking about Star Wars references in the finale, you have the very obvious Star Wars reference with Tammy fighting with what look like lightsabers. Not really sure why they're fighting. There's this giant wasteland behind them, so it seems like there's this giant battle going on around them. But Summer really hasn't referenced Tammy since the events of the Season 2 finale at that wedding when everything went crazy. Maybe it has something to do with Snuffles fighting this giant cat and their mechs in the background. I know a lot of you are wondering if this is the same cat from the first half of Season 4. I'm not assuming it's the same cat, but they might have some funny callback to that episode where they peered into its mind and saw something that was so terrible it just made them throw up. So the post-credit scene could either be some evil Morty scene, it could be something with Tammy, Phoenix Person, it could even be some unholy alliance between the Citadel and the galactic government or the remnants or whatever's left that Tammy's trying to take control of. As for what's going on with Season 5, obviously we have the 70-episode renewal, so there's no need to worry about Season 5, Season 6, Season 7. It's just a question of how they're going to break the episodes up. So given the way they broke Season 4 into two halves, what they might do is just continue doing the same thing. So later this year, around November or October, we get the first half of Season 5. Then maybe around this time next year, we get the second half of Season 5. All the interviews that they've done in the last year or so make it sound like they've fixed a lot of their delays inside the writer's room, but the animation still takes forever, as they say during that behind-the-scenes trailer, just because it's so complex. So if they continue to break each season up into two halves, that's probably why, just to give them a little more buffer and time to complete the animation. So at least they'll be a little more predictable next year. We don't have to wait through January and February just wondering why they haven't talked about new episodes for the second half of Season 5. Where are the episodes? Well, they're probably going to come sometime in the spring. Everyone, post all your predictions in the comments below. If there are any special Rick and Morty bonus videos that you want me to do, just let me know in the comments. But the videos that I post for episodes will typically post Monday mornings, so as long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see those when I post them. Sometimes they'll drop extra footage during the week, so if they drop any more brand new footage, then I'll try to do a new trailer video for that too. But everyone, click here for all my Rick and Morty Season 4 episodes, and click here for the Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix teaser trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.